This is the first Sunday of the year, and we want to take this opportunity to remember how it is that the church tells time. And there's a lot of different ways we can tell time. Some people tell time with a watch, although I'm not sure anybody wears watches anymore. Some people tell time by looking at their phones. Sometimes we tell time by looking at a calendar, and this is January, so this is the beginning of the calendar. But we want to look at how the church tells time. And a lot of people think of time as being in a line. So if we think of this, I've got a knot in my line. If we think of this as being time, then maybe this is the beginning and this is the end. But what if this is the beginning and this is the end? It can get kind of confusing. And so the church does it a little bit differently. We do it like this. Now, the beginning is the end, and the end is the beginning. Let me show you what we mean. This is how the church tells time. This is the church's calendar. And we have lots of very important things to look at here. First of all, we have Christmas. Christmas, very important. Of course, we just celebrated that, the birth of Jesus. Then we have Easter. Easter, the time that we're reminded about how Jesus died, but came back and is still with us. And then we have, ow, wow, that's hot. Then we have Pentecost. Pentecost is very hot and fiery, which is indicated by its red color. I'm going to put that down now. But then we have lots of other Sundays on the calendar as well. We have purple Sundays. There's some purple Sundays. And there's some more purple Sundays. And then we have some white Sundays. All this talk of Sundays makes me think of ice cream. It kind of makes me hungry. And then we have lots and lots of green. You know what? Lots of green Sundays. So how does all this fit together? Let's start with the important ones. Okay, let's start with Christmas. Christmas goes, let's call it there. And then Easter goes, I don't know, down there, and then Pentecost goes down here, I think. Let's see if we can figure out where the other things go. Let's start with the purple ones. We know that Christmas is very important, and we know that the 4 Sundays leading up to Christmas are what we call Advent. So let's take 4 purple ones and put them in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. For the 4 Sundays of Advent that lead up to Christmas. And then Easter, when there's a time leading up to Easter too, it's the anticipation of Easter, and we call that Lent. And there's a bunch of purple ones for that too. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 purple Sundays leading up to Easter. And Easter is such a big deal, and it's so important that we don't leave it on one Sunday. We celebrate it for a whole bunch of Sundays. So we're going to add 6 more white Sundays of Easter that come after, because that's how important Easter is. 3, 4, 5, and 6. So now we have Christmas, one of the important Sundays, Easter, one of the important Sundays, and Pentecost, which I'm not going to touch, one of the Sundays. And that means we have all these other green Sundays left. And the green Sundays are the ones that connect Christmas with Easter and Pentecost. So we have 8 green Sundays that go between Christmas and Lent leading up to Easter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And we're going to push those together. And that means all the rest of these green ones, which are spring and summer and fall, these are the ones that connect Pentecost to Advent. And there's 24 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I gotta clean up my mess. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Getting there. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So now, I don't know where that came from. All right, so now this is what we call the church calendar, but there's a few more parts we have to add, and the first things we want to add the names. So we know we want to add Advent. This is the time period leading up to Christmas where we prepare for the birth of Jesus on Christmas. And then we have Epiphany, which are the Sundays following Christmas, where we learn what Jesus means to the world, and we come to know God's presence in the world. Then there's Lent. Remember, Lent are the Sundays as we prepare for Easter and for the mystery of Jesus' death and resurrection. And then all those Sundays of Easter. And then all those green Sundays of Pentecost. And finally, to remind us of the three most important Sundays, we have the hands of the clock that point to those three most important days. We have one that points to Christmas, one that points to Easter, and one that points to Pentecost. And it's good that we have one that points to Pentecost so we don't have to touch the fiery hot one there. And that is how the church tells time. And for those of you who have been in a Worship and Wonder room before, you may remember that there's a big felt one of these on the wall. And that big felt one sometimes will ask you to, if it's your turn, to go change the arrow pointing to which Sunday we're on. So we just celebrated Christmas Sunday, which means today we're on the first Sunday of Epiphany. And that is how the church tells time.